ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, dear devotees, and welcome all of you for this another second last session of our voice coming clear. Is the voice clear, Prabhuji?
Prabhuji break कर रहा है.
Prabhuji, the voice is clear, but the video is having glitches. There's some bandwidth issue, it seems like.
Okay, video is having. Okay, but voice is clear, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so anyhow, we have to hear it properly, not just seeing. Of course, you should see also, but hearing is more important. है ना? So, so thank you very much, Prabhuji, for taking out a valuable time and consistently being there for attending this Bhakti Shastri course. And today we are going to see the 9th verse of Nectar of Instruction series. So, a quick, brief recap. What we have seen till now is especially when we talk about in terms of the divisions, how the divisions are made. Obviously, also, I quickly share with all of you. So, first 1 to 7 verses we saw they were talking about sadhana bhakti, in which we saw that if somebody wants to become guru, what he should do, which is an advertisement by Rup Goswami. Then he tells us the list of 6 unfavorable items. Then he tells us the list of 6 favorable items, and then he says that if you want to cultivate these, then it is possible only in association of devotees. And then how we should associate with devotees, that is also mentioned. And then afterwards, we saw that while associating with devotees, we should choose the association carefully. That was explained, that how we should choose the association between 3 kinds of devotees. And then finally, next one was that how when we are choosing the association and when we are aspiring from that Uttamadhikari Guru, then we may see some faults in him which are arisen from because of his bodily deformities, but we should not consider those faults, because just like Ganga has the ability to purify, even if Ganga water is not so pure, similarly those pure devotees have ability to tell us or give us the Divya Gyan, love of Godhead, even if they have some faults in their body, the configuration. And then afterwards, we saw that how after understanding this thing, then how one should be transiting from Vedi sadhana bhakti to Raganuga sadhana bhakti, and Raganuga sadhana bhakti definitions, how one should practice it under Tad Anuraga Jana Anukami, and residing in Vraja, Vrindavan, and under the guidance of this uh, devotee who is having raga for Krishna, or Vrajvasis who are also having raga for Krishna. Therefore, they are called ragatmikas, bhaktas. And when one follows in their footsteps, learning from them or trying to adopt their mood, that is called raganuga bhakti. So till now, here we discussed all these things. Just give me 1 second. So is it clear? Any doubt till now? Hare Krishna. Okay. So if it is clear, okay. So today, what Rup Goswami is trying to tell is, now this last 3 shlokas, 9th, 10th, and 11th shloka, Rup Goswami is going to tell us, I told you to stay in Vraja and follow the Vrajvasi. which place in Vraja to stay in. So, telling about that place, Rup Goswami is now going to tell us the hierarchy of the places in the spiritual realm. You know? This ninth shloka, it deals with the hierarchy of the places, you know, in terms of performance of Krishna's pastimes. And 10th shloka will deal with the gradations of the bhaktas who are situated in that place, and 11th shloka will be combined of both. So what it is, we will see. One very beautiful thing which you will see in all these three shlokas, last shlokas, they are talking about bhav and prema bhakti. So therefore, in bhav and prema bhakti, there is not much explanation. It's a subject matter experience, which is individual of their relationship with Krishna. So although our acharyas have tried to, formulate some definitions and tell us some guidelines, but beyond those things, one has to experience it. And therefore, we will see Rup Goswami, he doesn't convince people much about doing this. He doesn't give concrete instruction. He is giving instruction, but not concrete कि ऐसे ही करना है. जैसे सेकंड वर्स में बोला, ये करोगे तो भक्ति विनाश हो जाएगी, ये करोगे तो भक्ति क्या हो जाएगा, प्रसिद्धि हो जाएगी, बढ़ जाएगी, ऐसा कठोर इंस्ट्रक्शन दे दिए. लेकिन ये लास्ट के 3 श्लोकों में ऐसा कठोर इंस्ट्रक्शन नहीं दे रहे. क्या बोल रहे हैं? वो गुणगान कर रहे हैं जो हाईएस्ट प्लेस है जहां पे रहना चाहिए, और बोल रहे कौन बुद्धिमान व्यक्ति वहां नहीं रहेगा, ऐसा करके बोल रहे हैं. सिमिलरली अगेन ही रिपीट सेम थिंग इन 10th श्लोक, कौन बुद्धिमान व्यक्ति वो वर्शिप नहीं करेगा. इन 11th श्लोक, कौन बुद्धिमान व्यक्ति वो नहीं करेगा. मतलब ही इज नॉट टेलिंग करो, ही इज टेलिंग कि भाई देखो, दीज ऑल सब्जेक्ट मैटर्स आर ऑफ भाव एंड प्रेम, फिर यू कैन नॉट फोर्स पीपल, है ना, यही करना चाहिए. ठीक है, भाव आ गया ना, अभी अभी यही करना है, तुमको खाना नहीं खाना, ठीक है, भाव आ गया मतलब निर्जल एकादशी, ऐसा नहीं है कुछ भी, है ना. इट्स कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट. देयरफॉर वी सी रूप गोस्वामी अप्रोच आल्सो कंप्लीटली different, है ना. So therefore, please pray for me so that we can repeat whatever Prabhupada has given in the purports. Although there can be lot many things to discuss in this, and our acharyas have written many things. In fact, Srila Prabhupada in his book called Nectar of Devotion, when you will all of you read whole Nectar of Devotion, if you read, and also Chaitanya Charitamrita, Prabhupada has expanded upon all these topics a lot. But here we will try to see whatever is written in Nectar of Instruction purports by Srila Prabhupada. Okay? And I recommend all of you, please, if you want to have any wonderful, challenge for yourself, please kindly try to learn these shlokas. So let us recite this 9th number shloka, and then one by one, all of you can read the meaning. वैकुण्ठा जनितो वरा मधुपुरे तत्रापि रात्सोत्सवात् वृन्दारण्यमुदारपानिरमनात् तत्रापि गोवर्धना राधाकुण्डमिहापि गोकुलपते प्रेमामृताप्लावनात् कोर्यादस्य विवां विवेकिनका. Yes, one of you can read, please. Okay, well, let us read the word to word meaning also. I'll just quickly repeat, and all of you can also see. Vakuntat, then Vakunt, the spiritual world. Janita, because of birth. Vara, better. Madhupure, the transcendental city known as Mathura. Tatrapi api, Tatrapi, superior to that. Rasa Utsavat, because of the performance of the Ras Lila. Vrindaranyam, the forest of Vrindavan. Udarapani, of Lord Krishna. Ramanath, because of various kinds of loving pastimes. Tatrapi, superior to Dakund. Iha api, superior to that. Gokulapate, of Krishna, the master of Gokul. Prema Amrita, with the nectar of the divine love. Aplavanad, because of being overflooded. Kuryat would be Asya, of this Radhakund. Virajata, situated. Giri Tate, at the foot of Govardhan hill. Sevam, service. Viveki, who is intelligent. Na, not. Ka, who? Translation. I'll read the translation, then all of you can one by one little purports we will read. The holy place known as Mathura is spiritually superior to Vaikuntha, the transcendental world, because the Lord appeared there. Superior to Mathurapuri is the transcendental forest of Vrindavan because of Krishna's Raslila pastimes. And superior to the forest of Vrindavan is Govardhan Hill, for it was raised by the divine hands of Sri Krishna and was a site of his various loving pastimes. And above all, the super excellent Sri Radha Kund stands supreme, for it is overflooded with the ambrosial nectarian prema of the Lord of Gokul Sri Krishna. Where then is that intelligent person who is unwilling to serve this divine Radhakund, which is situated at the foot of Govardhan Hill? So here we see this is a hierarchy within the spiritual realm, which is given by Rup Goswami. And what is the purpose of giving this hierarchy? Isn't it that spiritual world is spiritual world? It's all Sachit Anand, and after all, we are there. It is permanent, and we need not to come back. These are two reasons. But why Rup Goswami is giving this? Prabhupada will tell this in purport. It is because this is a mood of our Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, especially those who are followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to give Anarpita Charincharat Karunavati Karo Samaitu Unnat Ujwal Rasa, which are experienced by gopis of Vrindavan, or their reciprocation with Krishna. So therefore, Rup Goswami is giving this hierarchy, and he's telling in previous verse, I told you to reside in Vrindavan, but which place in Vrindavan? I'll tell you, this is the place you should reside. So first he tells that Mathura is greater than Vaikuntha because in Mathura, Krishna took birth. His pastime of his appearance happened. So in Vaikuntha, there is no appearance pastime. There is no childhood lila. There is no Balya lila of Narayan in Vaikuntha. Narayan is present over there. Neither we hear any such pastime when Narayan appeared like this. But Krishna's appearance pastime happened in which place? Mathura. Therefore, Mathura is superior to Vaikuntha. Superior to Mathura is Vrindavan, because in that forest of Vrindavan, the Raslila pastime, the most beautiful Raslila pastime took place of Krishna. But most superior to Vrindavan is the Govardhan Hill. Why? Because Krishna raised the Govardhan personally with his hands, and it was a place for so much loving pastimes with all the devotees and especially gopis. So it is explained near Vrindavan, if you see, there is a Chandra Sarovar. There Krishna did Ras Leela, and many other places in around Govardhan Hill. Near Govardhan there is Chandra Sarovar where Krishna did Ras Leela, and that Ras Leela was so attractive. Balramji felt I should see that Ras Leela. So that time there was no live telecast or something like this, or CCTV. So what that Balramji did, and from that far Balramji started seeing the Ras Leela, what is happening at Chandra Sarovar by Krishna. And that Balramji place became Doka Dauji, the Dauji which is seeing the Ras Leela of Krishna. That beautiful pastime Krishna has performed.
Your voice is
Prema of Hare Krishna. Okay, voice is breaking up. I'll shift some other place. Now please tell me if it breaks. Okay, is it now good?
yes, Prabhuji.
It's
Now
okay.
it's
Now
coming.
better, Prabhuji. Better than before.
If it again happens, then please let me know. Because I think this subject matter is so esoteric, even the internet is not able to, hold its vibrations. And that's why internet is telling, no, I will not broadcast this because it is so esoteric. I have material internet. What you are speaking, better go in Vrindavan and discuss all these things. That might be one reason, which I am thinking esoteric reason. But real reason is, of course, range of internet. So where we were? Where we were?
Saudi.
Akadauji.
Even
So-
Krishna got attracted to Raslila.
Balram.
Krishna was
Even
doing ras, Ram जी got attracted. वाह, यही है व्रज का रस, है ना? तो बलराम जी got attracted to that, Ras Leela. So therefore, even Govardhan is highest, है ना? Superior to Vrindavan, and superior to Govardhan is what? It is Radha Kund. Because Radha Kund is overflooded with the ambrosial nectarian prema of Lord of Gokul Shri Krishna. So actually, Radha Kund, it is both way. It is love of Srimati Radharani towards Krishna, and it is love of Krishna towards Srimati Radharani, which Rup Goswami has not mentioned here, but he will mention it later. And then this is a question which will be repeated in all the shlokas. Where then is that intelligent person who is unwilling to serve this divine Radhakund? Actually, those who are not ready to serve Radhakund, they are unintelligent. But Rup Goswami is telling, कौन बोल रहा है वो बुद्धिमान है जो नहीं कर रहा है सर्विस? बताओ. Which is situated at the foot of Govardhan Hill. So, dear devotees, very important thing here which we should learn is that Rup Goswami, we are all Rupanugas, we saw in the preface of Nectar of Instruction, Prabhupada is telling. So he is urging us, become intelligent, worship Radha Kund. Worship Radha Kund means what? We will see in the purport. But he is urging us that aim for that place of Radha Kund, to reside there and worship, to reside there and serve the divine couple Shri Shri Radha Krishna. Don't become foolish to get attracted by this material world, little bit beauty of this material world, the temporary nature of this material world, and get attracted towards this very cheap, temporary enjoyment. Don't get attracted towards this. And get attracted towards. That's what Rup Goswami is urging all of us. He is trying to urge this way. So let us read the purport of by Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Prabhu. One of you can read. The spiritual world is.
Yes, Prabhuji. The spiritual world is 3/4 of the total creation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and it is the most exalted region. The spiritual world is naturally superior to the material world. However, Mathura and the adjoining areas, although appearing in the material world, are considered superior to the spiritual world because the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself appeared at Mathura. The interior forests of Vrindavan are considered superior to Mathura because of the presence of the 12 forests, Dwadash such as Talvan, Madhuvan, and Bhulavan, which are famous for the various pastimes of the Lord. Thus, the interior Vrindavan forest is considered superior to Mathura, but superior to this forest is the divine Govardhan hill because Krishna lifted Govardhan hill like an umbrella, raising it with his lotus like beautiful hand to protect his associates, the denizens of Vraja, from the torrential rain sent by the angry Indra, king of demigods. It is also at Govardhan hill that Krishna tends the cows with his cowherd friends, and there also he had his rendezvous with his most beloved Sri Radha, and engaged in loving pastimes with her. Radha Kund at the foot of Govardhan is superior to all because it is there that love of Krishna overflows. Advanced devotees prefer to reside at Radha Kund because this place is the site of many memories of the eternal loving affairs between Krishna and Radharani, Rati Vilas. In
So here,
Chaitanya,
thank you. So here we see that Prabhupada is also repeating the same thing, what Rup Goswami is telling, that how the superiority of Radha Kund, and Prabhupada very clearly he says, what he says, advanced devotees prefer to reside at Radha Kund because this place is a site of many memories of the eternal loving affairs between Krishna and Radharani, Rati Vilas, full with many memories. Advanced devotees prefer to reside. Who is that advanced devotee? So this is the description which is given previously. So for being one qualified, or qualified in the sense one aspiring to reside at Radhakund, so he should have desired or developed that desire for practicing Raganuga Bhakti, which is mentioned in the previous shloka, where it's like slowly, it is going ahead. Without that, artificially trying to imitate, it will not work much. Because in next shloka, Rup Goswami is going to say, one who will take bath in the nectarian water of the Radha Kund will achieve Krishna Prema. Now, to be very honest, I took at least 3 drops of bath. I have taken many times Radha Kund water, and I am still standing in or sitting in front of you with my 2 hands and this material body, and nothing, no love, nothing is there. You know. So, but who will be affected by this bath? Yes, there is something which will happen. Some mercy will be surely there, even if I have taken bath. That's why at least I'm in bhakti right now currently. You know. But the result of Krishna Prema, that one will get. Of course, Radha Kund can give without pure devotee also. Radha Kund is independent. But in general sense, Rup Goswami is telling that at least you should, progress gradually and then understands the glories of that Radha Kund and become advanced to take bath there in Radha Kund. That is important. Uh, And now here, one more thing which Prabhupada starts with is that Prabhupada, he insert one more hierarchy. What is that hierarchy? Can any one of you guess what is that hierarchy? This is that hierarchy.
Spiritual world. Yeah.
Spiritual world and material world. This is not given by Rup Goswami because according to Rup Goswami, he is assuming that all the devotees are at Raganuga platform, and that's why I tell it start with spiritual world. But Prabhupada is concerned about all of us. He knows we are still stuck in material world. है ना, हमको अभी भी स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड से लेना देना नहीं है, हमको चाहिए मेटल वर्ल्ड. है ना, मेरा वॉइस, सॉरी वॉइस नहीं, मेरा जन्म स्थान, है ना, मेरा कंपनी का स्थान, मेरा परिवार का स्थान, और सो एन एंड सो फोर्थ. करेक्ट. इसलिए प्रभुपाद जी ने ये इंसर्ट कर दिया, अरे पहले मेटीरियल वर्ल्ड से तो ऊपर उठ जाओ, बाद में स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड के बारे में देखना. लेकिन द पॉइंट विच वी शुड ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड हियर इज that our acharyas, especially Rupa Goswami and Prabhupada, is urging us that aim for that spiritual world. Understand that should be our goal. We should be residing there. Don't make this place your permanent place. This is not our permanent place. It is not going to help us. And many a times devotees feel helpless. प्रभु जी कैसे छोड़े, ये बड़ा मुश्किल है. हाँ मुश्किल है, मान सकते हैं बहुत मुश्किल है, लेकिन अगर आप डिजायर कर लेंगे तो मुश्किल आसान हो जाएगी. है ना. हमारे आचार्य बोलते हैं कि चैतन्य महाप्रभु की शरण में जो आता है, उनकी कृपा की वजह से मुश्किल काम भी आसान हो जाता है और आसान काम भी मुश्किल हो जाता है. इसलिए रूप गोस्वामी बोल रहे हैं, अरे आप लोग चैतन्य के महाप्रभु के अनुयायी हैं बाबा, आप लोग कैसे बोल सकते हैं मुश्किल है? कोई मुश्किल नहीं है, सब आसान है. हमको क्या करना है? इच्छा कर रही है. सो यस, हम लोगों ने आई थिंक ऑल ऑफ यू आर मोर देन 20 years ऑफ एज. तो 20 years में मेटल वर्ल्ड देख लिया है कैसा प्लेस है. Now Rup Goswami is telling, become intelligent. Don't try to settle here in this material world. Try to go and reside there in spiritual world to become more advanced, to become more perfected. That is what is Rup Goswami is trying to urge to all of us, and Prabhupada also. Yes, Prabhu, somebody else can read?
In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, it is stated that when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first visited the area of Vrajbhumi, he could not at first find the location of Radhakund. This means that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was actually searching for the exact location of Radhakund. Finally, he found the holy spot, and there was a small pond there. He took his bath in that small pond and told his devotees that the actual Radhakund was situated there. Later, the pond was excavated by Lord Chaitanya's devotee, headed first by the 6 Goswamis and such as Rup Goswami, Rup and Raghunath Gutas. Presently, there is a large lake known as Radhakund there. Srila Rup Goswami has given much stress to Radhakund because of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's desire to find it. Who then would give up the Radhakund and try to reside elsewhere? No person with transcendental intelligence would do so. The importance of Radhakund, however, cannot be realized by other Vaishnav Sampradayas, nor can person uninterested in the devotional service of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understand the spiritual importance and divine nature of Radhakund. Thus, Radhakund is mainly worshipped by the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, the followers of Lord Sri Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Correct. So we can see Prabhupada is giving himself this proof how Radha Kund is superior, because when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Vrindavan, he was looking for Radha Kund. Hmm? Actually, Loknath Goswami, Bhugarb Goswami, they had already searched the 12 forests of Vrindavan. They were already having Vrindavan and all those things. Mathura was known, Krishna's birthplace. And Govardhan was known. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is looking for Radha Kund specifically. है ना? And therefore Prabhupada is telling कि Rup Goswami is specifically mentioning here Radha Kund. So sometimes a fear comes in the heart of a sadhaka. प्रभु जी ये सब क्या बातें कर रहे हो, है ना? राधा कुंड पे बाबा जी बनना है क्या, सहजिया बनना है क्या? नहीं, बाबा जी सहजिया नहीं बनना है ना? We have to practice under the guidance. वो पहले ही बता दिया already, है ना, previous श्लोका में. तद अनुराग जनानुगामी. You have to practice. You have to follow under the footsteps of that person who has got rag, but at least develop greed for it. वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. Until unless that greed is not, because तत्र लौल्यम एकपि मूल्यम, है ना? That is the only price which one has to give. That लौल्यम has to be developed. अगर वो लौल्यम नहीं आएगा तो कभी नहीं मिलेगा. एंड इसलिए बाकी वैष्णव संप्रदाय में इसकी बात नहीं होती है ना? आप किसी और वैष्णव संप्रदाय में जाओगे तो बोलेंगे मथुरा बहुत महान है क्योंकि वहां कृष्ण का जन्म हुआ एंड ऑल दिस, है ना? बट हमारे गौड़ीय वैष्णव संप्रदाय में स्पेशली जो हमको बताया गया है, that is the topmost place of Sri Radha Kund, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself has exhibited, है ना? And therefore our Prayojan Acharya Raghunath Das Goswami, he was given a place at Radha Kund. We all have seen his bhajan kutir and his samadhi also, correct? Near Radha Kund, on the banks of Radha Kund. So he was doing his bhajan. And in fact, we have Roop and Sanatan coming there and doing bhajan later on. Jeev Goswami also. So all these are acharyas have exhibited this. In fact, our Prabhupada got instruction from his guru, Bhakti Sansari Thakur at Radha Kund. We have Bhakti Vinod Thakur's home at Radha Kund. Bhakti Vinod Thakur, just like his one home is there in Godrum Deep in Navdeep. Similarly, Bhakti Vinod Thakur's one room is there near Radha Kund also. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, all these great personalities, they have performed their bhajan on the banks of Radha Kund. So don't become fearful. But what we should do is we should try to aspire for this state and raise our standard, raise our hankering, our longing, and under the guidance of an able Uttam Adhikari Guru, one should be aspiring for reaching there. That's why this truth is told to us by Rup Goswami. And why Rup Goswami will speak 3 shlokas for same thing. In this Nectar of Instruction series, Rup Goswami is not supposed to repeat anything because it is concise, precise, compressed instruction. But he is repeating this instruction 3 times. And in the rhetoric questions, in the way asking, कौन नहीं करेगा, कौन नहीं? क्यों? Because वो बोल रहे करो करो करो, है ना? Aspire करो, aspire करो, aspire करो. Like that he is trying to tell us. So let us enter into the next shloka, which is there. 10th. Now he will again tell us the hierarchy of the highest place Radha Kund, but in a different manner, in a different way. Earlier he mentioned us as per the places. Now he will talk us about the as per the sadhakas or practitioners, those who are there. Let us recite. Karmi bhayo parito hare priyataya. कर्मी भया परी तो हरे प्रिया तया तया व्यक्ति. Sorry, that tune was कर्मी भया परी तो हरे प्रियतया व्यक्तिं वयुर्ज्ञानिनास् तेभ्यो ज्ञान विमुक्त भक्ति परमा प्रेमैकनिष्ठस्तथा तेभ्यस्ता पशुपालपङ्कजदृशास्ताभ्योऽपि स राधिका प्रेष्ठा तद्वदयं तदीय सरसी तां नश्येत् कृति. What meaning? Karmibhya, then all fruity workers, paritah, in all respect, hare, by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, priyataya, because of being favored, vyaktim, vayu, it is said in the Shastras, jnanina, those advanced in knowledge, they be superior to them, jnana vimuktaha, liberated by knowledge, bhakti parama, those engaged in devotional service, prema ekanishta, those who have attained pure love of God, tata, superior to them, tebhya, better than them, ta, they, Pashupala Pankaj Drisha, the gopis who are always dependent on Krishna, the coward boy, Tabhya, above all of them, Api, certainly, Sa, She, Radhika, Srimati Radhika, Preshta, very dear, Tadvat, similarly, Iyam, this, Tadiya Sarasi, her lake, Sri Radhakund, Tam, Radhakund, Na, not Ashrayet, who, oh sorry, would take shelter of Ka, who, Kriti, most fortunate. And again, same thing. Let us see that meaning. Sorry. In the Shastras, it is said that of all types of fruity workers, he who is advanced in knowledge of the higher values of life is favored by the Supreme Lord Hari. Out of many such people who are advanced in knowledge, Gyanis, one who is practically liberated by virtue of his knowledge may take to devotional service. He is superior to the others. However, one who has actually attained prema, pure love of Krishna, is superior to him. The gopis are exalted above all the advanced devotees because they are always totally dependent upon Sri Krishna, the transcendental coward boy. Among the gopis, Srimati Radharani is the most dear to Krishna. Her Kunda lake is as profoundly dear to Lord Krishna as this most beloved of the gopis. Who then will not reside at Radhakund? Means all of you will reside in Radhakund. In a spiritual body, surcharged with ecstatic devotional feeling, apra- aprakrita bhava, render loving service to the divine couple Shri Radha Govind, who perform their Ashtakali Leela, their eternal eightfold daily pastimes. Indeed, those who execute devotional service on the banks of Radhakund are the most fortunate people in the universe. So we see here that it is mentioned that there is a gradations of people who are favored by Krishna. Most important thing. So here, although we see in translation, Prabhupada has translated they are superior, 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 but it doesn't mean that another one is inferior, inferior, inferior. This is very important. Karmi is also dear to Krishna, but more dear than Karmi is Jnani. More dear than Jnani is Bhakta. More dearer than Bhakta who has attained love the gopis. More dearer than gopi is Srimati Radharani. So this gradation, it is not that if I love somebody, I hate another person. And this is not the meaning of trying to say this. The meaning is I love him, but I love him more. Because Krishna reciprocate with the desires of his sadhakas, of his devotees. And therefore, when there was a Ras Leela, and Krishna saw the love of gopis. So Krishna became so much, attracted towards the love of gopis. He says, "Gopis na parayam, I cannot repay back what you have given to me. I cannot repay." Although Krishna is Akhila Brahmanda Swami, but Krishna says, "I cannot repay back. I don't have anything to give back to you because your love is so great, so deep." And in that, what to talk about love of Srimati Radharani. So our acharyas have given profuse amount of explanation and descriptions of love of Srimati Radharani towards Krishna, which as one progresses in his bhakti under the guidance of proper guide, he should be reading it, and that should be our goal of life also. So understand these all are favored by Krishna means they are dear to Krishna, dearer, dearest, dearmost, aisa karke. They are not hated by Krishna. The other one are not hated by Krishna. Most important thing. Sometimes devotees they say, "Arey, ye to karmi hai." As such, we say as if that he has done some offense, karmi. है ना? It's not offensive. है ना? Other time we say, "अरे ये तो ज्ञानी है." वो offensive नहीं है वो. They are also dear to Krishna, Baba. But yes, Krishna favor more. So what is a hierarchy? So hierarchy is given here. Out of many such people who are advanced in spiritual knowledge, Gyan is one is practical. Sorry. So यहाँ से in the Shastra it is said that all types of fruity workers, he who is advanced in knowledge of the higher values of the life is favored by Supreme Lord Hari. So among all types of fruity workers means what? they are karmis. Karmis are fruity workers. He who is advanced in knowledge, मतलब कर्मीज में जो ज्ञानी है, he is favored by supreme lord. ठीक है, सो कर्मी के ऊपर ज्ञानी. ज्ञानी से ज्यादा फेवर किसको देते हैं? वन हु इज लिबरेटेड बाय द वर्च्यू ऑफ हिज नॉलेज में टेक टू डिवोशन सर्विस. दोज हु आर लिबरेटेड. एंड उनसे भी बढ़कर कौन है? लिबरेशन से भी, यानी ब्रह्मवादी जो हो गए, लिबरेटेड हो गए. हाउएवर वन हु हैज एक्चुअली अटेन्ड प्रेमा, प्योर लव ऑफ कृष्ण, इज सुपीरियर टू हिम. सो लिबरेशन मीन्स one could have achieved Brahman, impersonal form of the, or he worshipped the impersonal form of the Lord. But superior to that is one who love Krishna, who has attained love, pure love for Krishna. The gopis are exalted above all the advanced devotees because they are always totally dependent upon Shri Krishna, transcendental cowboy. More than those who have love for Krishna, there are many devotees who have love for Krishna. We know there are devotees in Sakyaras, Dasyaras, Vatsalyaras, and Madhuryaras. Among them, Madhuryaras also, there are many gradations of devotees. So Rupa Goswami is putting all of them together, and he's telling among all those devotees who are having this rasas with Krishna or love for Krishna, the exalted are the gopis. So let us not talk about other things. So now here we understand one more thing, that actually Srila Rupa Goswami, he has given this description in Nectar of Devotion about various rasas, and an inquisitive sadhaka can go through those things in Nectar of Devotion. And but because of so that the size of the book doesn't become much big, Rupa Goswami just give very few chapters, 10 chapters around for Madhurya Rasa. But then Rupa Goswami felt it's not sufficient. Then I should give Ujjwal Neelmani, the book. And that Ujjwal Neelmani book, in that book, he has only glorified Madhurya Rasa. And that too especially with the gopis. And that too specifically about Srimati Radharani he has glorified a lot. So where we can get this knowledge about all these things? These are the books written by our acharyas, where all this information is given. Of course, one should take permission from his authority, guru, superior, and then he should be reading these books. Otherwise, prematurely or being not very devotional, if we read these books, then it may be of some use, but informational use, but ultimately it will not help us to grow our bhakti until unless we are not at proper level to understand them. But yes, we should know that these are the books and I am aspiring for reading these books. That kind of thing it is there. So therefore I am mentioning you all these names. Why? So that we should not be become complacent and lazy. अरे प्रभु जी पढ़ लिया मैंने सब कुछ, क्या भागवत पढ़ना, पढ़ लिया चैतन्य, अरे खत्म कर दिया भगवत, अरे 4 बार पढ़ ली मैंने भगवत गीता, और बताइए क्या करना है. अब तो मैं बस बोलता हूँ भगवत गीता भागवतम के ऊपर हमें लेक्चर देता हूँ, मैं पढ़ता नहीं. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए, है ना. हमको पढ़ने के लिए एस्पायर करना, इतना सारा ट्रेजर है हमारे आचार्य ने दिया है. वन शुड एस्पायर फॉर रीडिंग ऑल दोस थिंग्स. सो हियर वी सी दैट ही इज मेंशनिंग gopis, they are exalted because they are totally dependent upon Lord Krishna. Among gopis, Srimati Radharani is the most dear to Krishna. So this statement, most dear to Krishna, it's a very important statement to understand. Srimati Radharani is most dear to Krishna. So now we see that Radharani is not a Jiva Tattva. She's not a living entity like all of us. She is Haladani Shakti of Krishna. So therefore, she is a very special personality. So if somebody thinks that I can become like Radharani, that's not the case. Radharani is Srimati Radharani. So nobody can become like Srimati Radharani. And especially Jivas like us, we are in different situation altogether. But what we should be aspiring from this is that the qualities which Srimati Radharani exhibit, because of which she becomes so dear to Krishna, we should also try to follow on her footsteps, to serve Krishna. The quality which Srimati Radharani has of selflessness, of just looking for Krishna's pleasure, we should also aspire for this quality. Many times, Sahajiyas, what they think, let us also become gopis and enjoy with Krishna. That is very cheap, uh, you know, imitation of such a exalted personality as Srimati Radharani. Hmm? So, of course, lot many things can be given about Srimati Radharani, and Prabhupada has explained very beautifully. I recommend all of you, if you wish to know more glories of Srimati Radharani, you can read Srila Prabhupada's Chaitanya Charitamrita, where uh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is having conversation with Sri Ramanand Rai, and Ramanand Rai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, "Aar kaho, aur kaho, kuch aur batao," and then he talks about Madhurya Ras, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, "Aur batao Madhurya Ras mein." रामानंद राय बोलते हैं, अरे और बताओ बोल रहे हो, इसके बारे में तो शास्त्रों में भी नहीं बताया गया है। क्योंकि वो लोग भी डरते हैं माधुर्य रस के बारे, क्या बताएंगे माधुर्य रस के बारे में, डिस्क्रिप्शन नहीं, वही मैंने बताया ना, भाव प्रेम का क्या डिस्क्रिप्शन देंगे। बट चैतन्य महाप्रभु बोलते हैं तो रामानंद राय बोलते हैं, पहली बार किसी ने पूछा है क्वेश्चन, इसके आगे क्या है, व्हाट नेक्स्ट, है ना। तो ठीक है, आप ही कृपा से मैं बताना शुरू करता हूँ। एंड देन स्लोली स्लोली टॉक्स अबाउट रसास, रामानंद राय टॉक्स अबाउट रसा. And then in that rasa, he explains all the rasas, and then he comes to Madhurya Ras, and then especially talks about Srimati Radharani and the qualities of Srimati Radharani. Because it is given by Srila Prabhupada and purported by Srila Prabhupada, it is a very safe, secure, and suitable reference for all of us to read and understand the position of Srimati Radharani. So if you have time, please kindly go through it. I'll not take it here because it is out of the scope of our discussion. And because Srimati Radharani is most dear, therefore the lake in which she has performed pastimes, that lake become most dear. So again, previous shloka also Radha Kund is the highest, and here he is proving Radha Kund highest as a practitioners, those who are practicing. Those who are practicing, among them the greatest or the most favored personality or most loved personality is Srimati Radharani, and her Kund, Sri Radha Kund, is the most dear to Krishna. And therefore he says, who then will not recite at Radha Kund? Means all of you should recite, all of me, I also should recite. And in a spiritual body, surcharged with ecstatic devotional feeling. And this is very important. In a spiritual body. So that means what? So as we know previously, little esoteric, but try to understand it. If you remember in the previous shloka, when one is practicing Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, and while he is meditating, constant remembrance, Anusmriti, and all those things we were discussing, if you remember, Shravan Dasha, Varan Dasha, Smaran Dasha, and Smaran Dasha also have those 5 steps. So at the end of Smaran Dasha, what happens is, let me show you that shloka only. This is the shloka which Prabhupada also quote. Seva sadhaka rupena siddha rupena chatradi tad bhavale pusunap karya vraja loka anusharata. In the transcendental realm of Vrajadham, one should serve the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna with a feeling similar to that of his associates, and one should place himself under the direct guidance of the particular associate of Krishna and follow in the footsteps. This method is applicable both in the stage of sadhana, spiritual practice executed while in the stage of bondage, and in the stage of sadhya, God realization, when one is a Siddha Purusha or a spiritually perfected soul. So this Siddha Purusha, spiritually perfected soul, means that he has got the glimpse of his spiritual relationship with the Lord. So this devotee, he is still a sadhaka. वो अभी भी रागानुगा साधका है, ऐसा नहीं कि वो भक्ति छोड़ दिया उसने और उसके अनर्थास एकदम खत्म हो गए, ऐसा नहीं है. But still he is a sadhaka, and in sadhaka stage what is happening is he has perfected his stage to such a degree, that of course his anarthas are subsided to greatest extent, and he has developed many good qualities, and now because of his sadhana he is, and under the guidance of a Uttam Adhikari Guru, he is being revealed his spiritual form, spiritual Sarupa. Now he has not realized his spiritual Sarupa. It's like, for example, we can just understand that he has been told that you are this. But he's not clear who am I, what I am supposed to do, but he is told you are this. So then he starts practicing. Just like, in drama, we make various roles, and somebody told, Prabhu, you do the role of Ravan. And then we say, immediately as soon as we hear Ravan, what comes to our mind? Ha 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 ha. You know, we start practicing. So we are not in that drama still. We are just practicing. So this practicing sadhaka, who has been told, he is advised that you should recite in Radhakund. And Siddha sadhaka, one who gets the spiritual body in the next life also, he can also be residing at Radhakund. And render loving service to the divine couple Shri Shri Radha Govind, who perform their Ashtakali Leela. Ashtakali Leela means in the 8 uh, dandas or prahars of the day, whole day 24 hours are divided into 3 hours ke section, and those 1 hour करके 8 sections, and all those 8 section में जो लीला होती है उसको अष्टकाली लीला बोलते हैं. Their eternal eightfold daily pastimes. Indeed, those who execute devotional service on the banks of Radhakund are the most fortunate people in the universe. They people become most fortunate because they get quickly the mercy of Srimati Radharani. Let us try to see what Prabhupada says in purport. Please, somebody else can read who has not read.
At the present moment, almost
Yes.
everyone is engaged in some kinds of fruity activity. Those who are desire of gaining material profit by working are called karmis or fruity workers. All living entities within this material world have come under the spell of Maya. This is described in Vishnu Puran 6.7.61. Vishnu Shakti Para Prokta Kshetra Kshetrakhya Tatha Para अविद्या कर्म समय तृतीया शक्ति इष्यते. Sages have divided the energies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead into three categories, namely the spiritual energy, marginal energy, and material energy. The material energy is considered to be the third class energy, Tritiya Shakti. Those living beings within the jurisdiction of the material energy sometimes engage themselves like dogs and hawks in working very hard simply for sense gratification. However, in this life or after executing pious activities in the next life, some karmis becomes strongly attracted to performing various kinds of sacrifices mentioned in the Vedas. Thus, on the strength of their pious merit, they are elevated to heavenly planets. Actually, those who perform sacrifice strictly according to Vedic injunctions are elevated to the moon and planets above the moon. As
Correct.
mentioned in Bhagavad Gita,
कृष्णा हाँ. सो सी, श्लोक कहाँ से शुरू हो रहा था? कर्मी से सुपीरियर कौन, ज्यादा फेवर्ड कौन है? ज्ञानीज. करेक्ट. लेकिन प्रभुपाद जी ने क्या इसमें इंक्लूड कर दिया? प्रभुपाद ने इसमें सेंस ग्रेटिफायर्स को भी इंक्लूड कर दिया. तो प्रभुपाद हमारे लिए बहुत कृपालु है. हमारे लिए भी कोई कैटेगरी होनी चाहिए भाई, मतलब एटलीस्ट मेरे लिए होनी चाहिए ना सारे कर्मी, बिकॉज कर्मीज आर वेरी गुड. दे एंजॉय एज पर द इंस्ट्रक्शंस ऑफ शास्त्रास. कर्मीज के स्पेशलिटी क्या है कि कर्मीज जो है वो लोग भी भोग करते हैं, है ना, लेकिन उनका भोग करने का तरीका शास्त्रों के अनुरूप होता है. लेकिन आजकल आप देखेंगे हमारा भोग करने का तरीका शास्त्रों के अनुरूप नहीं है ना. इतने सारे शास्त्रों में कहाँ दिया है मोबाइल फोन में टाइम वेस्ट करना? कहीं नहीं दिया शास्त्रों में, लेकिन हम करते हैं, है ना. या सो एंड सो फोर्थ. करेक्ट. सो एक्चुअली में देर आर सम पीपल दोज हु आर even lower than karmis. They are just like dogs and hogs engaged in sensitivity. But superior to them, there are karmis. Prabhupada mentioning this because they perform activities, pious activities, और उसकी वजह से वो मून वगैरह में एलिवेट होते हैं. Then somebody else can read, Prabhu, as mentioned in Bhagavad Gita.
As
As
mentioned in
mentioned
Bhagavad
in Bhagavad Gita, Shine Punya Martya Lokam Vishanti. After exhausting the results of their so-called pious activities, they again return to the earth, which is called Martyaloka, the place of death. Although such persons may be elevated to the heavenly planets by their pious activities, and although they may enjoy life there for many thousands of years, they nonetheless must return to this planet when the results of their pious activities are exhausted.
Continue.
This is the position of all karmis, including those who act piously and those who act impiously. On this planet, we find many businessmen, politicians,
and others who are simply interested in material happiness. They attempt to earn money by all means, not considering whether such means are pious or impious. Such people are called karmis or gross materialists. Among the karmis are some vikarmis, people who act without the guidance of Vedic knowledge. Those who act on the basis of Vedic knowledge perform sacrifices for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu and to receive benedictions from him. In this way, they are elevated to higher planetary systems. Such karmis are superior to the vikarmis, for they are faithful to the directions of the Vedas and are certainly dear to Krishna. In
समझ में
Bhagavad
आया
Gita,
समझ में आया आपको डिस्क्रिप्शन क्या चल रहा है? एक क्लास प्रभुपाद ने बोल दिया सेंस ग्रेटिफायर्स को बोल दो कर्मिस। कर्मिस में दो क्लास, एक वी कर्मिस एक कर्मिस। वी कर्मिस जो शास्त्र को पालन नहीं करते, सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन करते हैं। कर्मिस वो जो शास्त्र को पालन करते हुए सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन करते हैं। लेकिन जो शास्त्र को पालन करते हुए सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन करता है वो कृष्ण को डियर होते हैं, है ना? तो ये चीज यहाँ पे है। तो हमको भी अगर सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन करना है तो क्या करना चाहिए? शास्त्र को पालन करते हुए करना चाहिए। एटलीस्ट कर्मी तो बने, है ना? बट हमारा वो गोल नहीं, हमारा गोल तो है वो भक्तास भक्तास बनना है हमको। तो भक्तास में क्या स्पेशल क्वालिटी होती है वो आगे जाके हमको देखने को मिलेगा। अभी तो कर्मी की ही बात चल रही है। यस, समबडी एल्स कैन रीड प्रभु इन द भगवत गीता।
In Bhagavad Gita 4.11, Krishna says, Ye yathama prapadyante tam sathaiva bhajamiham. In whatever way one surrenders unto me, I reward him accordingly. Krishna is so kind that he fulfills the desires of the karmis and gyanis, not to speak of the bhaktas. Although the karmis are sometimes elevated to higher planetary systems, as long as they remain attached to fruitive activities, they must accept new material bodies after death. If one acts piously, he can attain a new body among the demigods in the higher planetary systems, or he may attain some other position in which he can enjoy a higher standard of material happiness. On the other hand, those who are engaged in impious activities are degraded and take birth as animals, trees, and plants. Thus, those fruitive actors who do not care for the Vedic directions, the karmis, are not appreciated by the learned saintly persons. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 5.5.4, नूनं प्रमत्त कुरुते विकर्म यदिन्द्रिय प्रीतया आपनोति न साधु मन्ये यतो आत्मनो अयम् असन अपि क्लेशद आश्रदेह. Materialists who work hard like dogs and hogs simply for sense gratification are actually mad. They simply perform all kinds of abominable activities simply for sense gratification. Materialistic activities are not at all worthy of an intelligent man. For a result of such activities, one gets a material body which is full of misery. And the purpose of human life is to get out of the threefold miserable conditions which are concomitant with material existence. Unfortunately, workers are mad to earn money and acquire temporary material comforts by all means. Therefore, they risk being degraded to lower species of life. Materialists foolishly make many plans to become happy in this material world. They do not stop to consider that they will live only for a certain number of years, out of which they must spend the major portion acquiring money for self gratification. Ultimately, such activities end in death. Materialists do not consider that after giving up the body, they may become embodied as lower animals, plants, or trees. Thus, all their activities simply defeat the purpose of life. Not only are they born ignorant, but they act on the platform of ignorance, thinking that they are getting material benefits in the shape of a skyscraper buildings, big cars, honorable positions, and so on. The materialists do not know that in the next life they will be degraded and that all their activities simply serve as prabhav, their defeat. This is the verdict of Srimad Bhagavatam 5.5.5. Prabhavas tavad abodhajata.
Parabhavas, you know. So here we see that the Prabhupada is not directly starting from Karma.
person is relieved from
You can mute
unwanted
yourself.
things, he becomes fixed in executing his Krishna activities.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, you can mute yourself. Yes, thank you. So here we see that Prabhupada is not just talking about the karmis, but he's talking about the sense gratification. है ना? Durashaya ye, है ना? Those who have ashas in this world. है ना? So we should understand that until unless we raise ourselves from this level, this expectation of this material world, ना, that it is going to give me some happiness, है ना, and we say wow प्रभु जी इतना मजा आ रहा है इस material world में, plans बना रहे हैं हम खुश रहने के लिए, तब तक वो प्लान मेकिंग बिजनेस नहीं छोड़ेंगे हम लोग, या छोड़ने के लिए रेडी नहीं होंगे, तब तक हमको ये हायर प्रिंसिपल्स नहीं मिलेंगे. We have to really raise our level to actually go to that level. So now everybody has to come to that platform one day or the another. But only thing is, question is that how much am I eager to come to this platform? This platform of bhaktas where I'm not looking for sense gratification, I'm not making plans in this world, and I'm just aiming for going back to God. That kind of eagerness and urgency is required, Prabhuji. And of course, we may have desires for sense gratification. That is another thing that Krishna will take care. But what is important is how much my desire for going back to God or attain this prema bhakti for Krishna is strong. That is within our hand. So don't postpone your desire for becoming that pure devotee in that rasa which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to give, because we have material anarthas. Material anarthas have no give and take with the desires. You know? Yes, because of material anarthas, our desires can get contaminated. But ultimately, we have to understand, I have to desire like this. And therefore, it's very, very important that as a devotees, we follow the principles very strictly. First, at least, let us do Vedi sadhana bhakti very strictly. Let us try to follow morning program very strictly. Reading, hearing, association of devotees. Prabhupada says reading, hearing, and without association will not be effective. In association of devotees. And in this world, morning program and all those things, because we are already so much entrapped in modes, and then we give explanations that I am becoming late, this and that, as if that whole material world will collapse, if I do not work, like that we think ourselves. Actually कभी कभार हमको बहुत हेल्प देता है. आप 16 चैप्टर भगवद गीता को खोल सकते हैं, डिवाइनिक क्वालिटीज, है ना. उसमें भगवान स्टार्टिंग के 4 श्लोकों में बताते हैं डिवाइन क्वालिटी, उसके बाद तो फिर डेमोनिक की लाइन लगा देते हैं भगवान खूब सारी. तो कभी वो डेमोनिक क्वालिटी के ना ट्रांसलेशन पढ़ सकते हैं, आपको पता चलेगा एटलीस्ट हम में है बहुत सारी, है ना. तो हमको पता होना चाहिए कि वो क्वालिटीज के साथ हमको ये सब कृष्ण प्रेम वगैरह, ये जो इतना राधा कुंड की बात हो रही है, ये सब नहीं मिलेगा. वी हैव टू रियली वर्क हार्ड. वर्क मतलब नॉट ऐसा कर्मी टाइप में वर्क, बट स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ में वर्क बहुत हार्ड करना पड़ेगा. दैट ईगरनेस, urgency has to be felt, and that's what Prabhupada is giving in this purport, beautiful purport, that urgency for all of us, that do not make plans in this world, you know. Of course, this is out of the scope of this lecture series, but all of you might have also heard, I have also heard, people have made so much plans. Like one devotee was telling here, my friend Raja Ranjan Prabhu, he was telling, one of his college friend told him, you know, that what happened, his brother was getting married in Punjab, है ना. And nowadays there is a lot of this trend of pre-wedding shoot. वेडिंग से पहले शूट करते हैं, शूट शूट नहीं मतलब शूट करते हैं कैमरे से, है ना. तो प्री वेडिंग शूट कर रहे थे. तो प्री वेडिंग शूट में क्या सीन था कि दूल्हा दुल्हन गाड़ी में है, जो गाड़ी दहेज में मिलने वाली है, और ऐसा पहाड़ों की वादियों से ऐसे घूमते हुए गाड़ी जा रही है, और फिर वो डेस्टिनेशन पे जाती है ना. तो ऐसा शूट करना था. तो ये इसका भाई पीछे वाली गाड़ी में बैठा, तो दूल्हा दुल्हन आगे वाली गाड़ी में बैठे थे, इन्होंने पीछे वाली गाड़ी से लिया कैमरा और शूट करते जा रहे हैं. और शूट करते हुए गाड़ी जा रही, गाड़ी का हो गया ब्रेक फेल, और शूट कर रहे और गाड़ी खाई के अंदर गिर गई, और शूट कर रहे और शूट करते करते दूल्हा दुल्हन का हो गया हरे कृष्ण, शूट करते करते. वो पूरा कैमरे में कैप्चर्ड है कैसे उनकी गाड़ी नीचे गिरी. सोचो. तो ये मेटेरियल वर्ल्ड है, टेम्परेरी है, कुछ सी का कुछ भरोसा नहीं कब क्या हो जाएगा. बट वही है कि हम लोग आशा लगा के बैठ जाते हैं, हमको पता नहीं एक्चुअली कृष्णा इज इन कंट्रोल, कृष्णा इज प्रोवाइडर, कृष्णा इज एवरीथिंग. हमको लगता है मेरे काम करने से मिलेगा. प्रभुपाद को स्टेटमेंट बहुत अच्छा लगता है. मिर्गारी की स्टोरी में चैतन्य चरितामृत में प्रभुपाद बताते हैं, क्या बताते हैं, मिर्गारी की स्टोरी चैतन्य महाप्रभु के चैतन्य चरितामृत में आती है, पता है मिर्गारी की स्टोरी. उसमें प्रभुपाद लिखते हैं, द सोर्स ऑफ योर इनकम इज नॉट सोर्स ऑफ योर मेंटेनेंस, सोर्स ऑफ योर इनकम इज नॉट सोर्स ऑफ योर मेंटेनेंस, है ना. So I'm not telling not work, and you should donate, Lakshmi. That is very good thing. But the point is, don't just give your valuable life, in working hard for sense gratification or maintenance in this world. Have faith on Krishna. and have faith in this spiritual world. Aspire for this highest goal. And it says the highest fruit of the tallest tree, of the Vedas. Aspire for that. Why to aspire for this short and lower things, low hanging fruits which are not tasty. Higher fruits are generally tasty and ripened. Nobody has touched that. So please aspire for that, not for this small things. Otherwise, we'll miss. So I'll end with this thing that because all of uh, you are in your young age, youthful age, this is a time when actually you can perform bhakti very fiery way. है ना. Don't think after becoming old I will perform bhakti. ना ना कुछ नहीं होने वाला है old में. है ना. वो कुलशेखर राजा बोलते हैं हरे कृष्ण मेरे एक मंत्र में 10 बार खासेंगे हम लोग. भगवान का दर्शन कहाँ है. शास्त्र कहाँ है. भगवत गीता नहीं दिखेगी. भगवत गीता भी हमको सुनाई भी नहीं. आप क्या बोला प्रभु जी. कौन सी रानी. झांसी की रानी कि राधा रानी बताइए. वो पता ही नहीं चलेगा आपको. है ना. क्यों. क्योंकि ओल्ड एज नहीं बना है भक्ति. मतलब बना है भक्ति तो कई भी कर सकते. वेरी डिफिकल्ट. तो एक्चुअली नाउ वी आर यूथ ना. रेदर देन जस्ट लाइक पीपल मेक प्लान्स. मैं अपना करियर बनाऊंगा. वी शुड हैव प्लान कि मैं आपका भक्ति बनाऊंगा अपनी. है ना. छोड़ूंगा नहीं. जैसा वॉइस में कंटिन्यू कर रहे थे उससे बढ़ना चाहिए वर्किंग लाइफ में. आप बताइए बढ़ना चाहिए कि कम होना चाहिए. बढ़ना चाहिए ना. बिकॉज वी आर नाउ मोर ट्रेंड, मोर मैच्योर, मोर नॉलेजेबल. तो भक्ति क्या होनी चाहिए. सब बढ़ना चाहिए. लेकिन अगर हमारी भक्ति घट रही है, which I have observed general trends, है ना. Devotees in voice days, they finish their 16 rounds before 7:15, but after working they again finish their rounds before 7:15, but that 7:15 p.m. not a.m. है ना. Before in voice days devotees read, 3-4 hours. Now devotees read 30-40 minutes in a week. Before that, they used to hear one lecture every day. Now they hear in working life one lecture in a week or sometime in a month. So this should not happen. We should understand we have got in youth very valuable thing. Let us try to take full advantage of it. Don't miss it. Otherwise, this goal will be very far off. That's why Prabhupada is giving such a down to earth purport to such a esoteric thing. आप सोचिए यार राधा कुंड वगैरह की बात हो रही है और प्रभुपाद purport में सेंस gratification की बात कर रहे हैं. करेक्ट. क्योंकि प्रभुपाद is concerned for us. So please try to understand this so that we can share this highest thing with somebody else. है ना. Highest fruit of the tallest tree we can share with somebody else. So many people are waiting, but all of us should get ready. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. So tomorrow, most probably, Krishna willing, will be our last concluding session, where we will conclude this 10th shloka and also 11th shloka. And if any one of you have any questions, you are most welcome to send me personally. And tomorrow again, the purport we'll try to see how to cover it. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Acha, we have something in chat. Attendance for all of you.